If you've been told to get into cybersecurity, but nobody's explained what it actually is, this video is for you. No jargon, no assumed knowledge, and no skipping the basics. By the end of the next 8 minutes, you'll know what cybersecurity really means, who's attacking companies and why, what defenders are actually protecting, and whether this whole field is worth caring about for your career or just because it touches everything you do online now. I'm Unsalted. I work in cybersecurity. This is the version I wish someone had given me 3 years ago, back when I was sitting in my university, hearing cybersecurity mentioned everywhere and pretending I knew what it meant.
Chapter 1. What is cybersecurity?
Cybersecurity is a work of protecting digital systems, the data inside them, and people who use them from anyone trying to attack, steal from, or break those systems. That's the whole field in one sentence. But that definition is too clean to be useful on its own. Let me show you what it actually means in real life. Every company today runs on computers. Your banks runs on computers, your hospital runs on computers, your phone, your office, your favorite shopping site, your government's tax system. All of it sits on computers and networks. And all of the systems store data. A lot of that data is sensitive. Your medical records, your bank balance, your private messages, a company's customer list, a government's defense files. Wherever there's valuable data sitting on a computer, there's someone trying to get to it. Cybersecurity is a field that exists to stop them. Here's a useful way to picture it. In the physical world, we have police, locks, security guards, alarms, cameras, vaults, and entire industries built around protecting things that matter. Cybersecurity is a digital version of all of that. Same job, different terrain.
Chapter 2. Who attacks companies?
Most beginner explainers just say hackers and leave it there. But hackers is a useless word. It covers everything from bored teenagers to nation state spies. And cybersecurity itself looks completely different depending on who's actually attacking you. Real attackers fall into 5 different categories. The first are the cybercriminals, by far the largest group. These are organized people who treat hacking as a business. They steal credit card details, they lock up companies' data with ransomware and demand payment to unlock it. And they run massive phishing operations that target millions of people at once. Their goal is straightforward: money. They don't care who you are, they don't pick targets carefully, they target whoever's easiest to compromise. Then there's nation state attackers, government backed hacking teams from countries like Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran. Their goal isn't money, it's intelligence, sabotage, or strategic advantage over other nations. They go after governments, defense contractors, critical infrastructure, and sometimes journalists or activists who threaten them. These groups are much harder to defend against than the regular cybercriminals. They are quieter, they are far more patient, and they have significantly better sources to throw at any single target. The third category is hacktivists, people who hack for political or ideological reasons rather than for profit. They're less common than the first two groups, but they still matter, especially if a company operates in a politically sensitive industry. Fourth, insider threats. These are employees who go rogue from inside the organization, usually for money, occasionally for revenge after being passed over for promotion or fired. This is the hardest category to defend against because insiders already have legitimate access to your systems. They don't need to break in, they just abuse what they already have. And finally, script kiddies. These are bored people with no real skill, running hacking tools they found online. They are annoying, but they are not strategically important. Most established companies brush them off without much effort. For each of these categories, there's a different defensive specialty. Defending against ransomware looks nothing like defending against a nation state. And that's part of why cybersecurity has so many subfields. So, what are these attackers actually trying to break into? Here's a quick way to picture it. Imagine all of your data as gold bars sitting in a bank. The bank has multiple layers protecting that gold. There's the building itself with its walls, doors, and windows. There's a security system, cameras, alarms, and motion sensors. Inside, there's the vault, where the most valuable items are stored. Around all of this are the people who work at the bank and hold the keys. And underlying everything is a paperwork that determines who's allowed to access what. In cybersecurity, every one of those layers has a digital equivalent. The building is your network, the connections between all your computers. The security system is your monitoring tools, watching for suspicious behavior. The vault is your encrypted databases and protected servers. The people are your users with passwords and access permissions, which honestly turns out to be the weakest layer most of the time. The paperwork is your policies, identity systems, and compliance rules. Attackers can target any of these layers. They might trick an employee into clicking a fake email that's going after the people. They might exploit a bug in your website that's going after the building. Or they might find a server that nobody patched in months and walk straight in. That's going after the vault.
Chapter 3. What defenders do.
A good defender has to protect every layer at once, which is much harder than it sounds. Each layer needs different expertise, different tools, and different people watching it. Now, let's talk about the defender's side. Cybersecurity professionals, broadly speaking, do four kinds of work. The first is prevention, building systems so attackers can't get in to begin with. Strong passwords, encrypted data, patch software, properly configured networks. Most security work is actually unglamorous prevention. It doesn't make the news, but it's the foundation that everything else depends on. The second is detection, assuming attackers will eventually get past prevention, watching carefully for any signs that they did. This is monitoring alerts, hunting for threats, recognizing the patterns that look like an attack in progress. The third is response. When an attack does happen, containing it, kicking the attacker out of his systems, and recovering whatever they damaged. This is instant response work, and it's high pressure and fast moving. The people who specialize in this are essentially the firefighters of cybersecurity. The fourth, surprisingly, is offense. Even on the defender's side, companies hire ethical hackers, called red teamers or pen testers, to attack their own systems legally, find weaknesses, and report them before real attackers discover the safe gaps. For now, just know that the field is huge. There's room for technical people, policy people, communicators, researchers, lawyers, and almost any background you can name.
Chapter 4. Is it a good career?
Since this channel is partly about cybersecurity careers, I want to address the question you're probably already thinking about. Is cybersecurity actually a good career to pursue? Honest answer, yes. But not for the reasons most YouTubers will tell you. The bad reasons you hear constantly are huge demand, huge salaries, easy to break into. All three of those are half truths. Demand exists, but most of it is for experienced people. Salaries are good for senior roles, but they're actually mid tier compared to software engineering at the same experience level. And breaking in is genuinely hard, harder than landing an entry level developer role in 2026. So, those aren't the real reasons. The actual reasons cybersecurity is a strong career are different. The work itself is genuinely interesting. You're solving puzzles every single day and you're learning constantly because attackers keep evolving. The field touches every industry, so you're not locked into one sector for your whole career. Once you're in, career mobility is strong, and your pay growth from junior to mid level is usually faster than other tech fields, especially in India. And the field rewards specialization. Pick a niche like threat intel, cloud security, instant response, or purple teaming. Become known for it, and your career compounds quickly. The downsides are real too. The entry barrier is no joke. The field has gatekeeping problems. Work life balance can be brutal in certain roles, especially 24/7 SOC operations. If this video helped, subscribe. This channel is for people figuring out cybersecurity from scratch. See you in the next one.